Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Trading Bitcoin with your host Tone Vase. I really hope this streams on the link that I provided because YouTube has changed so much internally that I am actually very confused as to how to set up live streams the way I used to. But well, I guess we'll find out because it's just weird now. Like the whole interface is completely overhauled. Uh, and don't exactly have the time to like deal with learning a new system within YouTube. But let me see if this works. Well, the thumbnail didn't change. I don't know why. That's weird. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'd have to figure that out. I mean, I can go back to the classic system, but then sooner or later they're gonna just turn off the classic system, and then it will be just a disaster. So you might as well learn the new system when you can, when it comes up. Yeah, so I'm not, hope everything works. Anyway, quick look at the charts. I got to Mallorca a day earlier than I actually expected to get to Mallorca. And therefore, I had to stay at a different place. And now I have to move out of this Airbnb and into a new Airbnb, which may or may not actually be legal in Mallorca. That's a whole other issue that, anyway. So that's what I'm doing right after this video. I gotta pack up and move again, which seems to be like a 3 times weekly thing now. All right, let's go to screen share. All right, understanding Bitcoin. I mean, I'm sure you guys are sick of me talking about it, but since we still have a couple of more days, we have about 10 days until this event starts. Please come out, please support. It's in Malta. I'm currently in Mallorca, so I'm on an island within the Mediterranean as well. And but from here, I'm going to Egypt, and then I'll go over to Malta. So that's pretty much the plan. All right, check it out. We have the carnivory dinner. It's set for Thursday night, and that's the plan. Maybe we'll do another one on like Friday or Saturday, like not really sure yet. Head on over to tonevase.com to see my travel schedule, which will be updated. The workshops, let's see if anyone signed up for Cairo. Hey, one person. We have 19 now seats left, right? So I will have a person in Cairo. That's pretty good one-on-one, I guess. And then Malta, Philly, Mexico City, New York, Rome, Amsterdam, and Berlin. There is my calendar of events that I'm speaking at, and the affiliate codes, and all the rest. Check it out. Price of Bitcoin. The monthly chart isn't really going to change much. I'm still expecting some downside. The cycle chart, the longer term view chart, again, I'm still expecting some downside. I will, as we get closer to the October 5th date, we will know if it's more of some kind of a critical high, some kind of a critical low, or simply some kind of a major trending news event in Bitcoin. Impossible to say now. I am not a psychic. The weekly chart of the price, this is the one that, I mean, this isn't the easiest to trade, as we made this double bottom, we bounced off the moving average. It all seems and looks simple, but it's not. Now we're slowly grinding higher. We are now stuck at 4,000. The longer we stay at 4,000, the more likely we are to break violently to the upside. I'm sure a lot of you had seen my interview that's going around Twitter, where I said there was a possibility of Bitcoin going to 6,000. Now, there's a possibility of Bitcoin going to 100,000 as well. It's just that that possibility is relatively small. The possibility of Bitcoin going to 6,000 is significantly higher. The possibility of Bitcoin going to 5,000 is significantly higher still. Now, I do believe that we will have some form of a bull trap here. I still do not believe that the prices have bottomed out. I have no reason to believe that, because look at my moving averages. Look at the 30-week moving average. Look at the 50-week moving average. Is there anything in these moving averages that is suggesting that a bull market is ready to happen? And the answer is no. We can try to guess where the bottom will be, but if that bottom isn't like at 1300, there is still plenty of room to the downside. There is evidence, however, that the bottom is in. That evidence, to me personally, is not yet overwhelming. What do I want to see in order to fully admit that the bottom is in? Well, for starters, if we go back to 4,200 and then we pull back down to the $3,600 vicinity over the next month or two, and then bounce off of the 200-week moving average once again, we can then start to discuss the possibility of an ascending triangle in Bitcoin bottoming out the price the way the descending triangle in Bitcoin crashed the price. I do not yet have 3 points on both sides of the triangle. I only have 2 points. I have this as my 4,000 to 4,200, and let me put the camera there. I have this as my 4,000, 4,200. I have this vicinity as my 4,000, 4,200 because I don't care if the wicks are crossed. I can actually probably delete this line as being cluttered, and I can simply extend this line to the left here. Now, here you have 2 points of contact. You need another point of contact on this upward slope, and then we can start to draw an ascending triangle. Now, the most perfect breakout of this ascending triangle would obviously take place with a green 2 above a green 1 on the sequential, and the break of the 30-week moving average all at the same time. If this happens, it will probably happen in June. And if that happens, the price would pop for 1,000 points. Now, what happens to Bitcoin if we break out to the $5,100 bull trap scenario that I've already been talking about for probably over a month or two? But it doesn't happen, in now. It doesn't happen in Q1 of the year, but it happens in Q2 or even Q3 of the year, right? What does that mean? Remember, I was on like Cheddar, which is, I did an interview from the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. I did that interview like back in freaking around this time last year. I think I did that interview in like April or May or something. And I was like, I said, I'm expecting an imminent move to 5,000. And then everyone made fun of me for the next 9 months, like 6 months, right? Well, where is it? Where's 5,000? Where's 3,000? Where's like things can take significantly longer, right? So my point is, if it takes us until like June, July, August, who the hell knows, to make it to 5,100, that still does not mean that we can't get below 3,000. But it does mean that if we get to below 3,000, it's going to happen in like very late 2019 or very early 2020, or maybe the halving ain't going to do shit to the price of Bitcoin, and we will continue going down until 2022, which is what which is one of Ven Zen's possibilities. So like nobody really knows. All you can do is analyze it as best you can. I would love for the bear market to end in 2019, but I also realize that it doesn't have to end in 2019. From a fundamental perspective, there is absolutely no reason for Bitcoin to really rise. Okay, we can debate this till the cows come home. Okay, from a technical perspective, Bitcoin is doing amazingly well. Lightning and hopefully Schnorr will be in soon, and we're doing the Understanding Bitcoin conference to explain the amazing and lightning speed tech improvements that are happening in Bitcoin, contrary to the big blocker propaganda. But that's the technological side of Bitcoin. The fundamental side of Bitcoin is what's happening in the news media and in the human understanding of Bitcoin. And the human understanding of Bitcoin is that BitConnect and Ripple is a better Bitcoin. That is the human understanding of Bitcoin. And that also reflects the somewhat lowish attendance at understanding Bitcoin versus come sell your scammy ICO conferences, which have 1,000 people, okay? So the fundamental side of Bitcoin is complete and utter trash. The technical side of Bitcoin is beautiful and awesome. And people sometimes confuse the full view of the fundamental picture with what they think they understand in the technicals of the code versus the other side of it, which is the fear and greed of trading and price. On top of that, you have the news, last minute news dynamics, right? So if you've traded for a long period of time and you've traded all 4 of these aspects of an asset, you can't possibly comprehend what's going on because you haven't experienced it, okay? So to me, until people realize that Ethereum is garbage, we have a huge perception and fundamental problem in crypto. And it would be very difficult to go to new all-time highs. And if we do go to new all-time highs, under the misunderstanding of the blockchain technology, then the next bubble is going to be even worse, okay? Like the tech did not have a secondary bubble. We had a tech bubble in the year 2000, and after that, the understanding of the internet, after the tech bubble, as of 2004 and 5, people seem to have a grasp and understanding the internet technology, and the fundamentals were clear. That's why scammy.coms with no businesses didn't really make any money. We don't yet have that in the crypto space. And if there is another rise in the crypto assets without the understanding that your company does not need a token, if that misunderstanding is still in the ecosystem, then the next bubble is going to be more disastrous than the current bubble. So all of this garbage, every single ICO, every single STO built on Ethereum or EOS or Cardano or any other non-decentralized, unscalable piece of trash needs to just go away. And if they don't, one of 2 things will happen. Either we blow another stupid bubble that will collapse spectacularly into the $1,300 zone for Bitcoin and zero for everything else, or we extend the bear market until people understand. And I don't know when people are going to understand it. I'm hoping that it's in 2019, if not early 2020. But if the stupidity of people lasts until 2025, then that's what it is. I have to live with it. I have to live with the fact that my Bitcoin will remain, like sub $5,000 till 2023. I can live with that. I can adjust my businesses to that. I can work within the scope of the reality of the Bitcoin ecosystem, that it's not going back to 20,000 anytime soon. The majority of the people can't seem to do that. I did not really mean to go off on this rant. I don't know why I did. I mostly did it because the Bitcoin price right now is very not interesting. There's nothing more I can say other than if we break 4,200, we are very likely to go to 5,000. The perfect situation would be to get rejected by 4,200 again. Give me the ascending triangle by pulling back to 37, 36, come back to 4,200, then break out to 5,100. And then I don't know what's going to happen. I will be a seller at 5,100. I'm hoping it happens before my conference begins so I can sell the ticket sales at a reasonable price to pay for this shit. But if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I mean, I'm not a psychic. So there you go. So there's nothing else really interesting in Bitcoin, so we have nothing to talk about. I really wish I had time to catch up on Tyler Jenks's hyperwave videos, which I'm like 4 videos behind, and I'm probably a dozen or so ugly old goat articles behind. And one day I'll come back to, having some free time. I don't know if that'll happen. I really like the fact that GBTC is back at $5. That means that my swing trade that has lasted for months longer than I anticipated, which is one of my rules that you shouldn't do, and I broke one of my own rules. I can't wait to exit this position, ideally at around $6 for a GBTC share, because $6 GBTC share is approximately $5 in GBTC. I love the fact that the premium is back up to 27%. If we can get this up to 35%, the way it was right there, it was only 32.5. That would be sweet. This is where I actually exited that GBTC swing trade. So I entered the trade somewhere here in November, and I exited like a week later, or with a profit on a portion of my GBTC. And then it fell so quickly, and I didn't have a chance to exit with the rest. So now I get another chance to exit, which is great. And I will try to pick this up again after the pullback will sub 3,000, which I still believe is going to happen, because I still think the majority of the people in crypto are, well, not very bright, as politically as I can say it. Gold doesn't do it much either. It's stuck below this moving average as it's turning down. So I am expecting gold to go lower. I'm also expecting the S&P to go higher, but I am in a rational understanding that this daily candle yesterday was a reversal candle. That means you have to be cautious. The current futures candle is also looking kind of bullish, but it's 5:20 a.m. in New York, and I'm in Europe, which is why I'm doing this video. We are at 440 viewers, so I guess people found the stream. I got to see if the link still works. We'll find out. Anyway, the weekly chart of the S&P 500. Remember, today is only, I have no idea what today is. Today is only Wednesday. So, and you don't know how this candle is going to look like. Now, I was bullish going into this week. Now, this is not a bullish candle. However, the week is not over yet. So give it time, be patient, and we will revisit this at the end of the week. I'll try to get Tyler Jenks on for a video about the markets. The Indian market, the Nifty, I don't know why I still have it open, but let's close that. Once again, guys, I have a public calendar. If you go to tonevays.com, click on calendar somewhere. Well, you can't click on it because I've clicked on it, but there is a menu item for calendar. You just don't see it because I'm in it. So these are the conferences I'm speaking at. Mallorca Blockchain Days. If you are near Mallorca, and for you travelers, it's an island off the coast of Spain, it's in 2 days. We can check out the agenda. Not exactly sure when I'm speaking. I gotta double check that. We can take a look at the speakers. Met a few people yesterday, so that's good. The former Minister of Foreign Affairs, I'm assuming that's here in Spain or Mallorca. And hey, Aaron's gonna be there. That's cool. Hey, Eric, haven't seen you in a while, Eric. Cool, good to hang out. Michael, Mr. Dupree, you're coming. David, I know you as well. Valentine, we just spoke at a conference together. Very, very cool. Very cool. Know a few people. Excellent. It will be a lot of fun. You can still get probably a cheap flight down to Mallorca. I just flew down here from Zurich, and there you go. So you can see my calendar. You can see where I'm traveling to. This is why I'll be in Egypt. I'll be in Egypt for Traders Fair. Traders Fair conferences are free. If you are in Egypt, actually, if you're in Egypt, like, shoot me a tweet, like tag me, right? Because like, I don't know anyone in Egypt, anyone. And I'm there for a week. So I'm gonna have, maybe some travel peacetime for Tone, going down the Nile, checking out the pyramids and Valley of the Kings and all this other stuff that I kind of always wanted to do. And then we are at understanding Bitcoin in Malta, though I really should be working. Like, I'm almost debating to, like, as much as I want to go see the pyramids, like, there's so much work that needs to be done for understanding Bitcoin. But then again, since the attendance is kind of light, I don't really, like, it's not going to be that big a deal. It's going to be more like a meetup then. But it's all setting up for next year's Understanding Bitcoin, which is going to be the greatest conference the world has ever seen in the crypto space. It's kind of, you just got to get that first one out of the way. And then we go to next month. Oh, we have a speaker request form. Boom. If you want me to speak at your conference, click on this form. I should probably see what it looks like before I promote it. Do we go to next month or what? What's going on? Here we go. Oh, next month is April. We did go to next month. April. I'm in Philly. There's a carnivory dinner. Why is the no carnivory dinner is on Thursday? No. Carnivory dinner is on Thursday. We got to fix that part. And then I'm in Mexico, and then I'm in New York. Consensus is not on here because I'm not a speaker at Consensus. I keep getting rejected. But I should probably put it on there because I'll be there. But I don't want people to get confused between the conferences I'm speaking at and the conferences that I'm attending. The workshop is only 1 day in Italy, not 2. Still working out some kinks, guys. All right. What am I going to talk about now? I'm not like, Tone, can you talk about the bearish ascending triangle? People seem to think because it's ascending, what? It has to break to the upside. It does have to break to the upside. It doesn't have, nothing has to happen. Jeez. Okay. If you have an ascending triangle, there's a 70% probability that it's going to break to the upside. You have to know that it's a 70% probability that an ascending triangle breaks to the upside. Can the 30% happen? Yes. You know, a 30% probability can happen. But if it's an ascending triangle, I will always place a bet that it's going to break to the upside, just like I was placing my bets that the descending triangle was going to break to the downside. Next, Tone, if you get time today, talk about any impending S&P pullback for a buy the dip opportunity. Well, I'm waiting till the end of the week. Like, your buy the dip should really happen right here at whatever price this is, 28.20. But it needed to go a little bit higher for that to be a really good buy the dip. And if you timed the top yesterday, then you can probably buy the dip at 28.20. But if you did not time the dip, time the high yesterday, which probably would have been tricky. Like, if I got this candle on Thursday, I would have been all over, hey, get out of your S&P and buy the dip. Kind of like I was over here. Hey, get out of your S&P on a 9 and buy the dip. That was a beautiful candle right here. I was all over this buy the dip. But this went sufficiently higher than the prior swing high. This did not go sufficiently higher to prior swing high. So buying the dip on the S&P right now is very, very tricky and very, very difficult because it didn't go high enough for you to, like, get the dip. So this is kind of complicated at the moment. Okay, I want to get back to one last thing. Let me stop screen share. Yes, I'm in Mallorca, a new Airbnb. I got to check out in an hour, and then I got to go to a new Airbnb, and I still have to do a million things, including, like, shit. I'm spending most of my free time now dealing with taxes because, you know, tax day is coming up. Okay, so the chart that I showed yesterday, a little more clarity on it. Let me pull it up. Man, where did I save that chart? 1 second, guys. Pictures. So this chart I took a look at yesterday. So we're going to try and build this on TradingView. I think the data is there, but the data isn't as simple as I alluded to yesterday. Because if you look at a couple of things here, right? Here's what was bothering me yesterday after my video. See this high here? If you look at the average price of Bitcoins mined that day. This is the high. It's on a different scale. And right here, because of the halving that took place here, over here, you are mining half the amount of Bitcoin. And the price is about twice as much. And I'm saying about, okay? This went as high as 1,200. This went as low as 3,100. So it's not perfect, but it's about, okay? So the price is about twice as much. You get half as much Bitcoin. So that's how your pullback perfectly comes back to the prior high. Also notice this right here. Again, you have a swing high in price of $30. This is how much Bitcoins mined that day were worth on a different scale. Now, here's the halving, okay? This swing low here, all of these swing lows are approximately double in price from the swing high 3 years earlier or 2 years earlier. Now, we perfectly pull back to the mining per day price adjusted value because of the halving. The price goes up by approximately 2. The number of Bitcoins being mined on average per day is about half. So we perfectly pull back. This is where things get interesting. Right here, you have a swing high. Right here, you have a swing high. Okay? Then right here, you have a swing low. It's very, very clear that the swing low here is double the price here because it's a log scale. It's $1 here approximately. It's $2 here approximately. But look at the mining adjusted price. The mining adjusted price of Bitcoins mined per day is about the same, but there was no halving. So that means based on the amount of Bitcoins being mined, like whichever the data that made this chart, and this is why I'm a little too busy to do this myself, but a couple of people got interested and they're looking for this data on TradingView in order for us to actually build this, in order for me to build this on TradingView so I don't have to go to a screenshot. Okay. Again, the person that did this originally had two choices. Could have kept it to themselves and used it for profitable trading, or shared it with the world for them, potentially for guys like me to pay attention to this chart, build it myself, and not have to worry about, you know, constantly giving credit to whoever built it first. I mean, that's the reality of data. Okay, so thank you, sir, for showing me this. I'm in contact with you on Telegram, and we will try to build this on TradingView so that it becomes, you know, a chart we pay attention to. I kind of like it, but you have to understand that assuming that this data is perfectly accurate, what we have is a fact that right here in early 2011, wait, what am I missing here? Oh, is this like a European thing? Hold on. This is, oh, the month is here. Okay, so this is January of 2012. So this is late 2011. And this is early 2011. So what we have to assume by looking at this blue chart, that in early 2011, in late 2011, twice as much Bitcoin, half as much Bitcoin was being mined on average per day as in early 2011. So early 2011 mining was mining significantly faster blocks per minute, blocks per 10 minute, blocks per day, Blocks per day in early 2011 were happening way faster than blocks per day in late 2011, because that's the only way I can explain the fact that the price has doubled, but the value of those Bitcoin mined that day times by the doubling of the price was exactly the same as the number of Bitcoins mined 10 months earlier at a price that was half as high. Now, again, this is what makes this chart very interesting. You can also see the same thing happening right here. Here, the price flew up to maybe 50 cents or wherever the hell this price point is, right? And here is your how many Bitcoins were mined that day times by that swing in price. Now, right here, the price is greater. It's not, maybe it's twice as great. I'm not sure. It's impossible to tell on this scale. But the price is clearly greater, but there was no halving. But this swung even lower than the peak. So once again, this tells you that the early mining that was taking place, the amount of Bitcoin being mined. Oh shit, I'm not screen sharing because I'm retarded. Fuck me. That sucks. Am I still live streaming at least? I don't see anything in the comments either. All right, so this is what I was talking about. Well, it makes sense to me, right? That it's not always possible for me to. Anyway, I'm not going to repeat that. I'm just going to end the video. Sorry, guys. Maybe I'll have the energy to do this all over again. But what I was talking about was this chart. Yeah, I hate it. I've done this before, and it's just frustrating, right? Like, I'm not going to repeat 20 minutes of what I just said. So, and I have to, like I said, I have to pack and check out. It's unfortunate that I just explained something with absolutely no visual, but there's the visual, right? So basically what I'm saying is, in a 30-second summary, after the halvings, it makes total sense that a price only goes down half as much as the prior peak, because you have half as many Bitcoins to match the prior mining adjusted price. But prior to the very first halving, there must have been half as many Bitcoins being mined later in the first halving cycle than early on. So early mining of Bitcoin would have been at a significantly faster pace, and that's the only way you can have the number of mining Bitcoin per day times by a doubling of the price still be the same as it was 9 months earlier at a price that was half as high. Because if the rate of Bitcoin being mined was identical in early 2011 to late 2011, this swing low would have been twice as high as this swing high. So there you go. So once we can pull this data into TradingView, I will try and build this chart so I don't have to refer to a picture, and the issue of screen share wouldn't be an issue anymore. Okay. All right. I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to stop the screen share. Please come out to Mallorca and support. I need to do a million things, including checking out of one Airbnb and moving on to another. And I will see you all on the next one. Bye, guys. I hope this worked, by the way. YouTube changed everything around internally. So I really hope this stream went the way I normally run my streams. Later, guys.